today on Carolina Week.
And we're seeing that need for food assistance climb higher and higher as the cost of living rises.
Local food banks are getting ready for the holiday season. What they need from you to make sure families have food to put on the table.
Years ago, had a lump on my testicle, ended up being cancerous.
Meet a coach who is teaching more than hockey to young players.
Everyone must be on this side of peace.
The Ukrainian president arrived in Dublin as part of his visit to Ireland, where the peace talks stand this morning.
That and more coming up on Carolina Week.
From the UNC Hussman School of Journalism and Media, connecting Carolina's campus and community, this is Carolina Week.
Good morning and welcome to Carolina Week. I'm Aaliyah Mitchell.
And I'm Mackenzie Acton. New laws took effect in North Carolina this week. Some could impact safety and the justice system. One is Irina's Law, named after Irina Zarutska, the woman stabbed to death on a Charlotte train in August. The law makes it harder for people charged with certain crimes to be released on bail. Zarutska's attacker had been released earlier this year without paying bail in a different misdemeanor. The law also includes a section to reinstate the death penalty. It allows new execution methods since lethal injection is no longer used in the state. North Carolina hasn't executed prisoners on death row in almost 20 years. Another law, House Bill 193, allows employees at private schools to carry concealed guns with written approval from school leadership. The law also applies to churches on campuses of religious schools.
65,000 North Carolinians face uncertainty over their health care after a contract between UNC Health and Cigna ended. Cigna members who relied on UNC Health now must find a new in-network provider or pay higher out-of-network prices. Cigna said they made an offer to UNC Health to extend their contract, and they are working to reach a fair agreement for their customers. And UNC Health said they are working towards a new agreement, one that's consistent with their relationship with other insurance companies.
The most common cancer for men ages 15 to 45, according to the National Institute of Health, is testicular cancer. Our Emma Kane spoke with a cancer survivor, and he explained how his experience and his diagnosis treatment led to him feeling an overwhelming amount of support for his community that he now strives to pay forward.
Is a hockey coach in North Carolina, but when he walked into UNC's locker room for the post-practice speech, he wasn't talking hockey.
5 years ago, had a lump on my testicle, ended up being cancerous.
Cross is one of the more than 9,000 people diagnosed with testicular cancer a year in the U.S., according to the American Cancer Association.
When I got sick, I got really lucky. The local hockey community really stepped up and supported me in a number of different ways.
Cross wanted to pay forward the support he felt. He now runs the Raleigh Testicular Cancer Foundation.
You know, I wake up and I sometimes pinch myself and go, damn, like, you know, what an amazing opportunity and responsibility that I have with the nonprofit.
This nonprofit educates and creates awareness about testicular cancer. Cross says his foundation strives to support as many patients and caregivers in the triangle as possible.
And that support can look like a daily or weekly phone call. It could look like a food gift card or us ordering DoorDash for them during treatment. I will sit with them during treatment sessions or go sit with them during doctor's appointments.
Beyond the support, be it emotional or financial, Cross tries to also provide hope by breaking the stigma, even though the conversations are difficult for him.
The first time I went to do a presentation with the junior hockey team, I was really nervous and anxious.
He has found the need for the conversation is bigger than his fear.
These young men were actually starving for mature conversations, that young men are actually dealing with a lot of stuff silently, and that I was giving them the green light or a platform to have a discussion. Thanks, Steve, for having me. Thanks for that.
On top of the emotional support, the Raleigh Testicular Cancer Foundation also offers financial support. The foundation has raised more than $500,000 in the last 5 years, and $80,000 of that has gone directly to help patients with the cost of treatment.
Members of the Lumbee tribe traveled to Washington, D.C. last month, continuing their push for full federal recognition. According to a press release from the Lumbee tribe, Chairman John Lowry testified before the U.S. Senate Committee on Indian Affairs. He urged lawmakers to pass the Lumbee Fairness Act, a law that would formally recognize the tribe at the federal level. Lowry noted that a 1956 law has left the Lumbee tribe in a legal limbo. He said the hearing is one more step toward eliminating the uncertainty the community has lived for generations. The release also quotes Senator Thom Tillis, saying Congress made a promise to the Lumbee tribe over 60 years ago, and it's time to honor that promise. If passed, the bill would give the Lumbee tribe access to key federal programs, including the Bureau of Indian Affairs and the Indian Health Service.
An Afghan man accused in a shooting near the White House that killed a National Guard member and left another critically hurt appeared in court on Tuesday. Rahmanallah Lakhinwal pleaded not guilty to murder and assault charges from his hospital bed. Investigators say Lakhinwal shot Sarah Beckstrom and Andrew Wolf on November 26th. Beckstrom later died, and Wolf remains in critical condition. Lakhinwal's lawyer argued he has no criminal record and should be released, but prosecutors said the charges are too serious for pre-trial release.
Our federal partners continue to work with the MPD, the FBI, the National Guard, everyone to continue to investigate as well as collect evidence so that we can add additional potential charges, potentially federal charges that we can bring against this defendant.
The Trump administration is pausing immigration applications for individuals from 19 countries. It comes days after the recent National Guard shooting in Washington, D.C. That's according to a policy memo from U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services. The 19 countries were facing travel restrictions to the U.S. under a presidential proclamation issued in June. They include Afghanistan, Iran, Somalia, Venezuela, and Cuba. The memo also places a hold on all asylum applications regardless of one's nationality, pending a comprehensive review.
While in Dublin, Ireland, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said there are better chances now than ever to end Russia's full-scale war in Ukraine, describing the current diplomatic situation as, quote, one of the most challenging and yet optimistic moments. Russian President Vladimir Putin met with U.S. negotiators in Moscow on Tuesday. Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner are pushing to get Putin to agree to end the war in Ukraine. Talking with reporters ahead of the meeting, Putin accused European nations of trying to block a peace deal proposed by President Trump. Ukrainian President Zelensky said he may meet with U.S. representatives soon after the U.S.-Russia meeting in Moscow.
America is taking serious steps to end this war, one way or another, and our task, and I'm sure that this is our common task for everyone in Europe, is to really end this war, the war, not just to get a pause in the fighting. We need a decent, dignified peace, and for that to happen, everyone must be on this side of peace.
Coming up on Carolina Week, the holidays are approaching. What you need to know about travel, the weather, and so much more.
Hey y'all, I've decided to quit vaping. I feel so trash right now. Like, I really need my vape. Yeah, I literally cannot sleep. Like, I hope this is worth it. I can't. I know quitting is worth it. 'Cause I'm worth it.
Welcome back to Carolina Week. We are in the middle of giving season, and for most of us, that means plenty of warm, delicious food on the table. But for others, it can be a time of stress and wondering where their next meal is going to come from. I visited the food bank of Central and Eastern North Carolina to see how the holidays have affected their food supply. Hunger is an issue now more than ever, with SNAP benefits undergoing change and federal funding being pulled from food banks. According to Vice President of this food bank, for every one meal they provide, SNAP provides 9. These are numbers that just can't be met by a local food bank.
We have been in the middle of the worst hunger crisis in a generation, even before those cuts went into effect. So we've got fewer resources from the federal government than ever before at a time when the need is higher almost than it's ever been in the history of our food bank of 40 years.
According to Kanawati Stefani, it is important to donate to food banks now more than ever. And as the holidays approach, the food bank wants to ensure that every family can have a warm meal.
And with holidays around the corner, like we said, people are headed to the airport for their holiday traveling. The Transportation Security Administration, or TSA, set another record for daily screenings the Sunday after Thanksgiving. On November 30th, more than 3.1 million passengers were screened by TSA. It marked the busiest travel day in the agency's history, up 37,000 from the previous record set in June. For smooth travel, officials say to get to the airport at least 2 hours early and to bring either your real ID or passport.
Downtown Durham is getting into the holiday spirit, and this weekend you can join the annual tree lighting ceremony. The tree lighting was postponed because of federal immigration agents in North Carolina last week, but it has been rescheduled for Saturday from 4 to 6 p.m. There will be live music and food and drinks from local businesses. Durham Parks and Rec will also be hosting games. The event is held in the heart of downtown Durham at the CCB Plaza right next to the Bull statue.
And because the holiday season is upon us, colder temperatures have arrived as well with that tree that we're about to see on Saturday. Megan Giller is in studio to tell us about what that could look like. Megan.
Thanks, Aaliyah. We're not going to be seeing any winter weather when it comes to the Christmas tree lighting, but we might see a little bit of rain showers if you're headed to watch that Christmas tree be lit. But let's talk a little bit about why we're not seeing snow per se and what we should expect for the rest of the winter. When it comes to our temperatures, we're looking at above normal temperatures for this time of year, and we're also looking at below normal precipitation for this time of year. Now, that doesn't mean we're not going to see any snow or rain or that the temperatures are going to be warm, but it does mean that they're just going to be a little warmer and a little more dry than normal. The reason that is because we were seeing a La Nina event out in the Pacific. Now, this is a weak La Nina event, but with La Nina, that usually means we see drier weather. And up in the north, you'll start to see more wet and a little bit cooler weather up there. So in the north, they'll probably see a lot more snow than we will. But let's jump back to today. We're going to be seeing temperatures within the 40s for most of today. We got 43 at noon, and we'll only peak around 50 at 3 p.m. But then we'll jump back down into those lower 40s around 6 p.m. The reason we're seeing such cool temperatures is we had a cold front come through, and that brought some cool air with us, but we should have a pretty sunny day for today, and we'll also have a sunny day as we look into tomorrow. That's because of a high pressure system that's lingering over the area. As we look on Thursday, though, you'll start to notice some rain down in the south. That rain is going to come to affect us on Friday and parts of the weekend as well. What you'll notice on the map, though, is most of our area is in the green, which means rain, but there's a little bit of purple. That purple could be mixed precipitation, maybe a little bit of sleet for Friday. But as we move into Saturday, you'll start to see just some rain lingering around, mostly scattered showers. But when we move to Sunday, we'll start to see the skies clear up a little bit, still be a little cloudy though. So let's look at the big picture. We're going to be seeing temperatures within the 50s on Wednesday and Thursday. The clouds will start to move in as we head towards Thursday. Once we get to Friday, we could see a little bit of sleet early in the morning, but mostly rain throughout the day. And then on Saturday, if you're headed to that Christmas tree lighting, I'd bring maybe an umbrella with you or a rain jacket, just in case there is a little bit of rain, but temperatures will stay within the 40s on those 2 days. And then we'll warm back up a little bit on Sunday with temperatures in the lower 50s, and the sun should peek out just a little bit.
Thanks, Megan. Well, cold weather makes me ready for Christmas and music. And speaking of music, Spotify Wrapped came out yesterday.
It did.
My top artist was Tame Impala. How about yours?
I have no shame. My top artist was Steven Universe. No shame.
Love it. Well, I think, speaking of music, Sabrina Carpenter has been in the news a little bit recently.
Sabrina Carpenter, the White House social media team is clashing with one of the world's biggest pop stars, which is Sabrina Carpenter. Her song Juno was used in a video that shows law enforcement apprehending individuals in apparent immigration enforcement. The Grammy-winning singer called the video evil and disgusting. The White House then doubled down, using Carpenter's own lyrics in a statement responding to her criticism, saying, "They won't apologize." The video using Carpenter's song is still posted on X and on TikTok.
I will say I think Sabrina Carpenter was maybe my number 3 or 4 on Spotify Wrapped. But we're joined with Sports Extra's Molly Malik. Molly, do you have a go-to pregame playlist?
Honestly, Mackenzie, I think that I'm more interested in Carolina men's basketball pregame playlist, especially after last night's game. But we'll be back with more Carolina athletics after the break.
Sports Extra's Molly Malik is here in studio to break down Carolina sports from this week. Molly.
Thanks, Aaliyah. Men's basketball traveled to Rupp Arena last night to take on number 18 Kentucky in a down-to-the-wire Blue Blood ACC-SEC Challenge matchup. Turnovers plagued UNC's first 20 minutes in Lexington, and the two teams headed into the locker room tied at the half. Carolina waded through a sluggish start but dominated on the glass with 20 offensive rebounds, leading to 22 second-chance points. Freshman Derek Dixon put on a show late, knocking down a clutch step-back three in the final minute and finishing a decisive drive with less than 20 seconds left to give UNC the lead for good. Dixon's late-game heroics and the Tar Heels' strong defensive final stand sealed the 67-64 victory, UNC's first-ranked road win since 2024. The Heels return to the Dean E. Smith Center to take on Georgetown Sunday at 5. And the women's team has come off of a hot week with national recognition. India Navarre is a national and ACC Player of the Week after an excellent three-game stretch where Navarre recorded the second triple-double in program history against South Dakota State. Navarre scored 13 points, grabbed a career-high 12 rebounds, and had a remarkable 10 steals, tying the single-game program record. Navarre averaged 12.7 points per game during the stretch and is the first player under coach Courtney Bankhart to have 4+ steals in 3 straight games. Navarre will look to stay hot as the Heels travel to Austin, Texas to take on the number 2 ranked Longhorns. It's one of their biggest games of the year. The Longhorns have players like Madison Booker, who is averaging 17 a game, and Jordan Lee not far behind, averaging 15. The Heels are coming off 3 strong wins from the tournament in Cancun. Leading the team is India Navarre and Lainey Grant, who had 2 season-high performances. Texas is undefeated on the season, and the Heels will go into the game with only 1 loss. Tip-off is tomorrow night at 7 p.m. In volleyball, Sophie Hampton is first-team All-ACC, and Chelsea Thorpe and Maddie May are second-team All-ACC. Hampton finished the season with 377 kills, and Thorpe finished with 299. May had 422 digs, putting her 3rd on UNC's all-time list. The Heels are dancing for the 21st time in program history as UNC volleyball heads to the NCAA tournament. UNC is 1-0 against UTEP all time. This is the first time since 2016 that the Heels are dancing in back-to-back seasons. UTEP is 25-4, losing to teams like UCLA and SMU. Torrance Lovesey for the Miners has 320 kills on the season, while Safi Hampton has 377 for the Heels. Both teams are coming off of losses, and the winner will take on the victor of Wisconsin versus Eastern Illinois. Even a Carolina football player is getting some recognition too. Jordan Shipp has received all ACC honorable mention for football after the Heels finished their season 4-8, ending with a loss to rival NC State on Saturday. Shipp closed out the season with 671 receiving yards and 6 touchdowns. While football has come to a close, the women's rowing team is hard at work preparing for their upcoming season. Sports Extra reporter JD Ruth Way takes a look at Erin Morley's experience on the women's rowing team and what the team is expecting in the spring.
Hi, my name is Erin Morley. I am a junior here at UNC. I am a business administration major, data science minor, and I am also a third-year member of the UNC women's rowing team.
Coach Aaron Appel came to UNC in 2021 to completely reconstruct the women's rowing team and create a program with strong values and good work ethic that would be competitive in the ACC.
We were the first class that she totally picked out from high school girls from across the nation and brought to Carolina. It's such a unique setting, being in a locker room of, I think, 59, 60 girls that are all on this mindset. You have to be elite in every single little thing you do, and that's the discipline that really carries us through athletics, through academics, through every part of our life. Sophomore year was really fun. We were placing in regattas. Teams were medaling in these races. That was insane inspiration for us, as a whole. And then it came to championship time. It was ACCs. And I think we came out of there very proud. We got, I believe, 6th overall out of a conference of 14.
In early November, Carolina competed in the UVA Riviana Romp for their only race this semester. After a good showing in both the 8s and the 4s, the Tar Heels look to perform even better this upcoming spring.
And we're seeing competitors this spring that we have never seen in our entire program's history. I think we should absolutely improve by at least one place at ACC. We're very much still on an upward trajectory, and I'm very excited to get to work, get to racing.
I'm JD Ruth Way, reporting.
Fans look forward to following the Tar Heels on the water this upcoming spring. That's all we have for sports this year. Tune in next semester to Sports Extra for all things Carolina athletics.
Welcome back to Carolina Week. Need a hug? Today is National Give Someone a Hug Day.
It is.
And I will take a hug.
Yes, and this is our last show of the semester, so I think we
sad.
definitely needed that hug.
We did. And speaking of hugs, I'm giving a virtual hug to my dad today on his 75th birthday. Happy birthday, Dad.
Happy birthday, and a virtual hug to my mom who's watching right now. Love you.
We hope you all have a great rest of your semester.
And there's a hug in the back as well.
Everybody's
hugging.
hugging.
Get in there, get in there. All right, happy National Let's Hug Day, and thanks for watching, and we'll see you
next semester on Carolina Week.